Thank you for tuning in to another session, I should say, with Fathers Who Care. Well, you know, we've been gone just a little bit through the transformation and the renovation and the installation of a new facility. So CAN TV has built a brand new studio over here at 1300 West Woods, and we like to give a shout out to Barbara, to Amari, to Sylvia, to Mike, to Tiffany, to all of those folks that were instrumental back in the days, to all of our elected officials, those who have been instrumental in making things happen to make sure that this facility was brought into the community, and this facility stays a public access facility where folks who are yearning for expression, for folks who would like to put out some good information and get some good feedback, will still have an outlet to do just that. So it's with great pride that we give hats off and shout out to those who were instrumental in making this dream a reality. And we do have this brand new facility here at 1300 West Woods. And so if you get a chance, stop on by and get a chance to look and see what's going around in and out of your community. But anyway, as you know, we at Fathers Who Care, we try to bring to you, the viewing audience, individuals who are passionate individuals, vetted individuals who we really believe in what they say. And you know, we don't know who they are all the time because there's so many of us out here. But when we run across good people with good spirits and intentions, we like to make sure that we bring those individuals back here to the television show and to other venues in the community to celebrate goodness, to celebrate realness, to celebrate integrity. Hear me again, integrity. And so that's a key word for us in the work that we do out here in this community, making sure that we get in touch with people whose hearts are right and their spirits are likewise, and they really have a passion beyond themselves to do work in the community. And so we'll be doing that today with our special guest, and you'll get a chance to hear more about Attorney Patrick D. John in a minute. But before we do that, we'll just give you kind of a little update on who we are. Most of you should know who we are. Of course, we are Fathers Who Care, the brain trust of our beloved Congressman Danny K. Davis. We've been in this business for so many years that I would be remiss if I tried to remember all of that. I really don't try. All I'm more concerned with right now is doing the work that I've called to do to empower our young folks and to bring needed resources back into the community so we, as a collective body, can come together to empower each other. Yes, I said it. We don't have to live in silos. We don't have to work in silos. And most of all, we do not have to hate each other. I believe we can love each other. I believe we can care about each other. I just believe in the concept, Patrick, I believe in that concept that I believe this, that it really takes a village to raise a child. I believe that because we don't have all the skills, we don't have all the tools. But I know if we collectively work to empower each other, there's nowhere in the world that we can't make it. So with that being said, I'd like to just tune in. You're watching Fathers Who Care. And of course, Fathers Who Care is a not-for-profit social service organization located on the west side of Chicago. And listen, our goal is simple, rather simple, to dispense needed information and to network with other concerned and committed individuals like my good friend John here, and you who are watching the show in our efforts to empower the least of them. That's right, I said it. We are here to empower our babies, our community, your community. And our objectives are rather simple: to dispel all of the negative myths about specifically African American men in the lives of their children, and to find other ways where we can get rid of these terms or these acronyms or these sound bites of deadbeat dads and turning it to black people. You don't even know. If you did your research, you would find out that there are more European fathers who are absent dads than there is African Americans. But that's another story. Like there's another story, there's more African American women not on general public aid than it is European. But that's another story. That ain't what the news wants you to see. But our efforts are to build a support system. We are building a support system to educate, empower, and to enlighten those of you who would like to be enlightened. Listen, we want you to do the best that you can with what you got, but we also know that if you keep on striving, you keep on trying, there's nothing but success headed your way. You're watching Fathers Who Care. The number here is 312-738-1060. Again, the number here is 312-738-1060. Today we would like to spend a little time talking with Attorney Patrick John. Patrick will give a brief overview of who he is, what he do in a few minutes. But we at Fathers Who Care really believe that Any man that's physically capable can make a baby. However, it takes a real man to be a father. And so we're trying to promote real, responsible fatherhood in the community. John, I really believe that if real men stand up, little boys would sit down. And I believe that's what we need in our community if we really want to reduce some of this violence, to get a grip on what's going on in our communities. I believe if real men join together with real men and we do some innovative, proactive things in our community, not to beat nobody up or to try to ostracize folk, but to let folks know that they can be better than that. But in the process of doing that, let them see professional men, God-fearing men, who have been through some of the stuff that they think they may be going through, all right?
Yeah.
But have come through it, all right? See, folks feel what they feel when they don't have hope.
That's right.
So I'm believing that men like ourselves in the Westside Men's Group that we represent, among other things that we do that we don't talk about, I believe if we just band together with a lot of the other folks out here and just show these folks that they are folks and that we still love them, but there's a better way.
Yeah.
But I believe if you really want to reduce violence and you really want to reduce some of this deleterious activities in our community, give people a job.
And a good one.
And a good one, right? Give people an opportunity to make a decent living, a stable living, and I guarantee you we can reduce this. Now, if we don't do those kind of things, then we're actually setting them up, right?
Yeah.
So let's get down to it. Listen, again, you're watching Fathers Who Care. It's a pleasure to be back with you guys again. I want to thank our guest today, Attorney Patrick D. John. As I stated before, Patrick would introduce himself. I mean, we can talk about all kind of stuff, but I got a few things on my mind, Patrick, that I'd like to share with you. But this show is entitled Men Empowering Men. Now, it's not synonymous to just men today. We want women that are watching to give us a call. Please call in. What do you think a good man is? What do you think men should do in order to empower themselves, their community, and you, for that matter? But we want to talk as men who are on the field, laboring in the vineyard for righteousness' sake, to do the right things by our children and for our communities and for our families. However, we need to also understand some people can't be what they can't see. So if we want folks to be the best that they need to be, we need to provide resources and opportunities. Let's keep it real, all right?
Yeah.
Folks can't be what they can't see. So if we want folks to be the best, then we have to provide opportunities for them to succeed, to matriculate.
That's right.
Is that fair?
That's right.
And cut the crap, all right? Cut the crap that folks don't want this and folks don't want that. Folks want a better life. Folks want to live better. Folks listen, folks are becoming desensitized, John. I believe they are. With the violence in the community, folks don't want to live like this.
No.
But anyway, let's get on down to it. John, here, what I'd like to do, if you don't mind. I would like for you to introduce yourself to our guests. You're on Fathers Who Care today. The number here is 312-738-1060. Our guest today is Attorney Patrick D. John. He works for a variety of different endeavors out here, particularly a law group, a few law groups. He a graduate of Ken College, Chicago Kent College of Law, and the Illinois Institute of Technology, and you are a former military officer of the U.S. Coast Guard, and you've been that from 2001, if I believe, from June 2001 to April 2010.
I've been at my last one of my employments for that long, but I've been out of the service for a while. But I really would like to talk about some of those things because I think
I want you to introduce yourself first.
What you hit on. My name is Patrick John.
Go ahead.
My wife and I live in the Austin community. We've been there about 2 years. I'm an attorney, been practicing for 18 years.
Okay.
I'm a man of faith.
Okay.
My wife and I are Christians. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I have a 24-year-old daughter.
Watch out there, man.
She just graduated.
From where?
Xavier, 130th.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
So,
yeah, that's nice.
So let me tell you, there's no such
You're feeling
thing.
good, aren't you?
Yes.
I know you
and
are.
relieved. There's no
and pocket feel a little bit better.
Listen, yes. And there's no such thing. If you have a daughter, there's no such thing as a liberal father with a daughter.
You got that
when she
right.
became a teenager, I got my FOID card, and I said, "Look, I'm going to meet all these guys and let them know I go to the range."
Yeah, man. I thank God for you. I thank God for you. It's hard out here sometimes, though, brother. And some relationships are even tedious than that. All right.
Yes.
But I'm thankful that you are who you are and what you do, and you shared with us a little bit about yourself. But let's get more specifically about this. We want to thank you, Patrick, for being on the show. We want to thank you and acknowledge the passion that you have in what you do, particularly in serving indigent families in one capacity or the other, and being a positive father figure.
Thank you.
For doing the work that you do. I mean, we don't get the credit. Please believe me, we don't. We don't get it from the closest of us, all right? But we don't do it for that. We do it because it's the right thing to do. I submit that young people can't be what they can't see, and I also submit to you, some folks don't want to be no more than what they are.
That's true.
All right?
You can't.
They don't believe in nothing
You can't
else.
force people.
No, you can't force them.
You can't force people.
Some folks don't want to be nothing else. They content with being where they are, and I'm at peace with that. I'm at peace with people being people. Just stay away from me.
That's right. Don't bring you down.
You know, don't bring me down
Don't
because
bring
you
you
choose
down.
to, all right?
That's right.
I want to move. I want to soar. I'm an ego.
That's right.
And I have to do this sometimes by myself. And you know how it is for us as men.
Yes, and as black people in particular.
In particular, all right?
Yes.
But men,
Yes.
all right? Black
Yes.
men, all right?
Yes.
It ain't easy, but let's do this here. Listen, there's this issue going on, all right? And we would like to use this show, if we can, to discuss how we as educated men of passion, public servants, can bring alternatives to violence, substance abuse on the west side of Chicago. How we can reduce this plague, or hopefully reduce. It's my hope that we will. This plague, literally, I believe, that's on our people. All right? I don't think nothing about this is godly. All right?
No.
I think all of this stuff is satanic with satanic people. All right?
No.
And I purposely believe, I just believe it. You can call me what you want to call me. Don't call me that in my face, though. I just purposely believe a lot of stuff has been intentionally put in certain communities.
Yes, and if it's not intentional, you know, let me tell you, my parents tell me that I first talked about being a lawyer when I was 7, because I just like to ask a million questions.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I wanted justice.
Justice.
And I
like
thought
that word.
If I could become a lawyer, you know, I could bring justice to everybody in every situation.
Right.
Didn't have any lawyers in the family, so all I knew was TV, Matlock, and
TV.
Perry Mason, and all of
I
this.
like Perry Mason.
And then I went to school and all of this, and law school, and then I started actually learning what the law is, and I started practicing law. And then I realized to what extent, I don't want to say game, but let's just say to what extent, you know, public isn't told the truth about how the court system works. We're told ideally how it's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things is, in our community with all the drugs, even the FBI will say, hey, we use 12% of the illegal drugs. But we're not 12% of the drug arrest and conviction.
Mm-hmm.
We more than fairly represent. So even if it is not intentional in the beginning, the fact that they've allowed it to remain that way
I go with that, Dan.
means that even if it didn't start out intentional, it is at best callous indifference.
Absolutely.
Because if
Absolutely.
Members of other communities were being devastated like this, whenever something happens to us, they say we're the problem. When something happens to another community, they say the system is the problem.
You act
and
like
must
you
be
got
fixed.
passion or something.
And
fella.
must be fixed. Oh yeah, but, you know, but it's under control. That's definitely professional.
Listen,
But yeah.
but you're absolutely right. You know what I've been amazed by? And we have a caller. We want to get this caller, all right? But you know what I've been amazed by? You know, I'm a West Sider. Many, many, many years. Born and raised. And I'm older than you, all right? I'm amazed that ever since I've known the West Side, and I've known it for some 50 plus years, there has always been that divide on Austin, from Oak Park and Chicago. It's always been that divide. But the crime rate on the east side of Austin is drastically different than it is on the west side of Austin. And they don't have all the law enforcement officers and personnel that we have. Let's take this caller. We're going to talk about some stuff when we get back. Caller, thank you for calling. You on the air. Our guest this evening is attorney Patrick D. John. How can we help you?
Hi, I would like to voice my opinion on your question.
Sure. What's your question, dear?
I believe that a good husband or a man is someone who owns up to their responsibilities
Watch
and
out.
is willing and is willing to take ownership of their responsibilities and anything that they have done in their children's lives.
Okay, let me ask this question. Won't you be more specific? You're saying take ownership of what they've done in their children's life, or do you mean take ownership for their children's lives?
On their children's lives.
Okay, did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to pass that question over to. Did you want to hear our attorney to respond to that? Because he's an attorney on family law. He's an attorney on all type of disciplines. Would you like to hear his response?
Yes.
Okay, please.
Sure, I agree with that. One of the things I see, of course, usually by the
And
time
thank you for the call.
by the time someone comes into my office, the relationship is at an end. And what's interesting is, I guess we're kind of like pathologists, morticians. We see the body when it's dead, right?
Right.
We can determine cause of death.
Right.
So we see relationships when they're over. And we look back.
As in the divorce attorney.
That's right.
Yeah.
And even if the people were never married, they're breaking up, they're having an argument, they come to me, and we look back and I say, man, sometimes I look and I say, boy, if this person had thought a little bit before having kids with this person, or before having multiple kids with this person. Because once you have one child, if he's a clown after the first child, he's going to be a clown afterwards, the second and the third. So I agree with
Or
the
she.
She. So I agree with the caller. One of the things that people have to do is realize that you have to accept responsibility for being responsible, but also for picking an appropriate person for yourself. So once you see that person starts to show signs, especially once you have a child, and if they aren't being responsible after the first child, you definitely don't need to have any more children.
So let's just say a person they didn't get this advice, or whether they didn't take heed as the wind was blowing. And we do, we get that.
I
right?
know.
We get buggy, we believe in love, right?
Or something else.
Or something, or whatever, we get caught in the moment.
That's right.
How about that one? So let's just say someone is watching today who's experiencing that. And they have found themselves in some dire straits, literally. But they are at the point where they believe that they can do better. They're at the point where they believe, I can do bad by myself.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to do bad, I should be by myself, all right?
That's right.
So, because I ain't going to hurt me. But if someone else is hurting me and not responsible for their actions and not responsible for their, as the caller said, what is some advice?
Well, one of the things
without us sending them to you.
Well, outside of the law, one of the things you have to think about is having a realistic plan. So forget the law aside, having a realistic plan. And so one of the things I see a trap that people get into, it's usually the woman that gets into the trap, but not always, is you have to think about, how am I going to make a good living for myself? Because if you're going to move on and be away from this person, you can't be financially dependent on them. So one of the first things people have to think about is, how am I going to be financially independent? So that means going to school, etc. The other thing is, I've seen some cases of domestic violence, and most people that are victims really don't report it. And then when something really tragic happens, and when you talk to the victim, this could be the 10th time that something has happened to them. But there's no paper trail, there's no police calls, there's no order of protection. So I would say, if you're the victim of domestic violence, especially for the women, the first time he hits you, if the relationship isn't over right then and there, then he should be in counseling. And the second time he hits you, the relationship should be over and the cops should be called.
Okay.
So those are some things people need
So
to do.
we hope that we've said something, or our guests have shared something that was beneficial to you, the caller. And if not, please call us back. And we'd definitely love to talk with you more. Listen, I'm kind of heavy-hearted today, as I'm always heavy-hearted when I'm hearing things that are going on in the community, that senseless lives are being lost. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't say this, but I know most of you guys have been watching the news and Facebook, and you've heard about the young man, Alton Sterling, a young 37-year-old guy who was out there that we call a hustle man.
He was just selling CD.
Hustle man, just trying to get his hustle on. By the way, I should tell you that there's a lot of hustle men around and about, all right? I'm a hustle man. He's a hustle man. We all hustle men because we sell intellectual properties, all right? All right? So we all hustle men, all right? He's just a little faster than us, all right? Because he was out there getting it straight up, all right? But anyway, our beloved brother, Alton Sterling, was shot here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, yesterday. And we send our prayers out to the family and to the sisters and brothers in Baton Rouge. And we hope that peace will remain still and that we can come to some resolution and some understanding of how to deal with senseless violence by the hands of whomever. In this case, you should know he was shot by a law enforcement officer. Here we are in Chicago dealing with some of the same ills, and we're trying to bridge the relationship between law enforcement and the community. And so I'm saying to you, before anyone get irate and go taking it to the street, listen, one bad officer don't make the whole bunch. All officers are not bad. All officers are not good. All community people are not bad. All community people are not good. But I believe that if we can communicate, we can change some things. I believe if we can talk it out, we can walk it out. But back to our guests. And listen, you were watching Fathers Who Care, 312-738-1060. How can we as men, or what do you think men should do to empower you, the family, their community, and our children? What can we do, men, to help each other to be the best that we can be and to make our family better than they are? Listen, I want to ask you a question. You work as an attorney, and you work for specifically Barclay Law Group. But I know you do also a lot of work with the First Defense. Would you like to elaborate on any of that?
Yes, let me talk about that. So, you know, Chicago has gotten the infamous title of America's false confession capital. And there's a
false confession capital.
I like it. And there's an organization called First Defense Legal Assistance. And if our audience members, they can Google that, and when you go up there, you see the website, and you can call it number 24/7. If you are arrested in any Chicago police station, what I learned by this group is that most confessions that are coerced or tricked occur within the first 72 hours of arrest. So this is one of only 2 programs of its kind in the country. The other's in Brooklyn. And what they do is, for free, they will dispatch an attorney. It could be 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, to the police station to say to the police, just like you've seen on TV, hey, I'm here to represent Mr. John Doe. Don't question him. Let him know I'm here and I want to see him. I want to share an experience I had with you because this is a new program. I just got trained recently. And
I want you to share how one can access this.
Sure. When you go onto the First Defense, it's called FDLA. If our members were to go in and type, our audience members were to go in and type FDLA in Google, it comes right up. First Defense Legal Assistance. And by the way, the headquarters is here in Austin on Harrison.
5100.
5100 West Harrison.
Okay.
And I had an interesting experience during my first night. And, you know, one of the things I learned is that statistically, even when people are properly read their rights and they're not abused, 80% of people talk to the cops anyway. I was floored that 80% of the people, even when they're treated correctly and they're told you have a right to remain silent, they just go ahead and they talk and they incriminate themselves. So on my first assignment, I was in a police station. It was about 10 o'clock at night, and we were there to meet a suspect. We go there, we give our identification, we give our attorney cards. They said, fine, we're going to send the detectives down. So the detectives come down, and they check out our ID, make sure we are really attorneys, and we say, look, we're here to see so-and-so. You are not to question him anymore, and we want to see him as soon as we can. And one of the officers said, oh, sure, we got no problem if you see him. But we want to ask him some questions first. Now, our jaws dropped. Now, we're not here so you can get his confession, and then we talk to him. And I said, wow, if some police, even when the lawyer arrives, think that they have a right to deny someone their Miranda rights, what's happening to people without a lawyer?
Absolutely. So if one was in need of someone of your integrity and your stewardship to empowering folks, because I feel it personally, all right? How can they get in touch with you? What do you recommend that they get in touch with you? Are you open to that?
Sure, I'm open to that. I can give my direct number.
Please get it.
And call me 312-553-0302, and that's my direct office number.
One more time.
It's 312-553-0302.
Now, if they were interested in the First Defense, they need to go on FDLA.
FDLA, that's what it's, yeah. And
Google that.
They can Google that, and it comes right up.
And it
gives them all the information.
Okay. Listen, you're watching Fathers Who Care. And our attorney here is Attorney Patrick D. John. my main man on the west side from the men's group, and we're doing things on the west side of Chicago, trying to make things happen because we believe we can make a difference. Listen, we believe all things are possible when you do the right thing. I was trying to get this picture up. See this picture? This is some stuff. Yeah, this is some things that we've been doing in the community with the fatherhood group and some stuff we've been doing with families. And we want to get you back online, and we're doing stuff in the neighborhood. Get back in the neighborhood. This is stuff we've been doing with the commissioner, with the congressman, with the community. This is some stuff we're doing with Benny Lee and some of his men out there. So I'm telling you, it's stuff to do. Stay connected. It's all good in the neighborhood. So what we want you to do, give us a call here at 773-312-738-1060. Let's get this caller. Caller, you're on the air. You're coming to question.
Sure.
Hello?
They hung up on me.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, I hear you. Go ahead, dear.
I would like to answer your question. I think that if men show little boys the route to grow, like being a father to their boys, that they won't be out doing all the violence in the community.
Okay. I think I heard her. Did you hear her?
I heard her.
It was kind of static, but I think I heard her. Go ahead, respond to what she was saying. And kind of give me what you got.
I think she's right. There's something I'll tell you what I noticed as a practitioner and as a father. I remember when I would take my kids, when I take them to do things, different activities, a museum, the park, that sometimes there wouldn't be a whole lot of men there, a lot of fathers there. But I also noticed something else, that we don't really do a good job of teaching about the unique skills that fathers bring. And so therefore...
You say it's unique, huh?
Unique, meaning so therefore mothers often believe that fathers are just another set of helping hands, and if granny can do it, and auntie can do it, or sister can do it, as long as they have helping hands, they don't necessarily need the father per se.
Well, I disagree with them.
Of course.
But here...
And that's what I think that I don't know if it's politically incorrect for people to say, but fathers bring things that mothers usually don't.
Fathers matter.
That's right.
All
Just
right?
like mothers bring things that fathers don't.
That's why a mother can't impregnate herself. Caller, you on there, your comment. Your comment or question. Hello? I can barely hear you. So if you...
Hello?
Go ahead, we hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello?
Okay. Okay. I can't hear you, so I'm having a hard time.
You might want to cut your television down, but we hear you. Go ahead and give us your comment or question.
Okay. I have a question for the guest on the show.
Attorney John, go ahead.
Okay. My question is, when you speak on being a father and being there for your children, what can you explain that? What is a man's responsibility when raising a young man, and so that they grow to be productive young men?
Thank you so much.
What is the responsibility of the man? Because I hear you all speaking on, that it's hard for a female to raise, young men and whatnot. But what is a man's responsibility, full responsibility to raising a young man?
Thank you for the question. You ready to go?
Sure, I'm ready to go.
And we got one more caller, so
Sure.
if you can.
So I think some of the things that fathers bring uniquely, other than obviously being a material provider and providing money, is that fathers teach a few things uniquely. We teach confidence, we teach discipline, we teach the controlled use of aggression. One of the things is that, to me, there's no such thing, men are born with testosterone. We are naturally violent.
We got about 10 seconds. We might want to hit it.
Right. So we got to steer that violence into constructive things like sports and so on. Obviously not gang activity. That's one of the responsibilities I think men have.
So we thank you all for the call, and we hope we may have missed the caller, but we ask you to tune in next week, same time, same station. Fathers Who Care, our guest next week. We're going to have some powerful information to share. But if you need additional information, give us a call at Fathers Who Care at 773-287-5821, or you can log on to fatherswhocare.org, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, all that good stuff. Listen, if young folks need something to do, contact Fathers Who Care. If parents want to volunteer and be actively involved with their young folks in the community, give us a call. Listen, it's been fun. God bless you. I hope you all are relaxing and enjoying yourselves. But remember, love somebody, love yourself. Until next week, God bless you. God keep you. And we'll see you when we see you. Wouldn't want to be you if you ain't right. So we'll talk to you in a minute.